Hello everyone, it's Brittany at Big Cat Rescue in Tampa, Florida, and I have a very adorable home tour for you today. We're gonna check out Zucari Serval and his entire enclosure. He's got a lot of space and it can be really difficult for people to understand the type of space that the cats have here, so that's why we've created these home tours. If you're just looking at like this shot right here, you're gonna have no idea that he's actually got a ton of space. So we're gonna start right here at this sign, and I'm gonna walk his entire enclosure and show you all of the natural foliage. He's got a ton of hiding places. You can see how this would be a wonderland for a serval. We understand that no cage is ever going to be big enough for a cat like this. These cats don't belong in cages. But what we do try to strive for here at Big Cat Rescue is to give them as much space as possible and make it as enriching as possible. So you can see he's got a series of platforms over there. He likes to lay under those or hang out on top of those. Sadly, Zucari came to us with two other cats that were used for breeding for the illegal pet industry. And probably my guess is the people thought that the cats would be safer to have in their homes without claws, so he has been declawed. You can see he's got some toys. We're gonna walk all the way around, so you're gonna see all sides. There's a tunnel with two doors, so if we needed to shift him away from this area, we could do that. This is the back side of a really unique den area. So you can see that if he wants to, he can crawl up into this enclosure here, which is a nice concrete den. It's got a little window on the other side so that we could get eyes on him from either direction. He's also got this nice little underground box here underneath his giant platform. And then there's other areas he could get up under there if he so chooses. This is his feeding lockout and one of his water bowls. You'll notice that he's got a bunch of rocks stacked in the bottom of his feeding lockout, and that is just to help keep standing water away. We dump these water bowls every single day, scrub them out and refill them, so it washes a lot of the earth away. So we are constantly refilling it with dirt and then adding the rocks just to help with any kind of standing water issues, which of course is going to bring mosquitoes and such. So he's got that chicken wire, his feeding plate, which he just had breakfast, so the cleaners will be coming around to scrub that out, as well as give him the fresh water. We also scrub these ceramic tiles on both sides. That is what helps shade, keep their water cooler, but also keep debris out of it. So another view of his very big platform. He tends to like to get to the very, very top. If this poor babe still had claws, I guarantee he'd probably get up in that tree, but he doesn't, so he pretty much stays on the top flat part there. So we'll walk all the way around. He's got some toys, he's got palmettos and natural foliage over here. He has his coolaroo bed, which just too bad he's not over here. He usually rolls and rubs all over his coolaroo bed. You'll notice too that he actually has some shade cloth. So he's got a very, very, very tall enclosure, and we like to try to give them as many shady areas as possible. So that is there to help at different times of the day. Just another view back of this front bubble. Here he has a very large safety entrance. This is an enclosure where cougars used to live prior. So occasionally you'll see a very, very large water bowl like that. We don't use all of them because we have the smaller ones, like in his lockout that we saw earlier. So the very big ones are currently not being used for him. He'd probably just play in them, but he has access to fresh water in several places. So the big safety entrance in case we need to go in that front section or this section here. So he's got some pretty big toys. He's got smaller ones too, but these cats have really big attitudes, so you just never know what they're gonna play with. So we offer them a little bit of everything. Very jungly over here. Very sunny day as well. Lots of sun flares I'm seeing. this is kind of looking back at that original sign that we were looking at. And then here we have, again, his platforms. A really big area of palmettos. He is right back there, blending in quite beautifully. Another safety entrance in case we need to access this back section here or this section here. So there's multiple ways to go in, and then there's another feeding lockout right over there. So this is just from the opposite side where you can see that guillotine door we're able to close if needed. Oh, not gonna focus on him from here. So this is his back bubble here. He's got a nice den with lots of fresh straw in it. He likes to roll around in that for sure. And another really huge water pan. So he is positioned right next door to our 22,000 square foot funcation enclosure. And lucky for him, because most of the small cats have to go into their feeding lockout, be closed in. We bring over a transport cage, and then the cat will go in the transport cage, and then we will carry them to vacation, put them out there for 2 weeks. And then after the 2 weeks, we do the exact same thing, just in reverse, and then we bring them back home. Zucari, though, has the pleasure of not needing to go in the transport cage. He's right on the other side of this palmetto. Gonna have to probably go all the way back around to show you exactly. Actually, yay, the tunnel's disconnected right here. So if he wants to go on vacation, we can unlock and unsnap and lift this guillotine door after, of course, that we have closed in this tunnel. So you can see that there is an extra piece of wire and some clips. There's also double wire there, so we pretty much can lift this, and then we can close on this whole area. We can lock it up, and then Zucari, as well as his neighbor Ginger and his neighbor Cricket, they can all walk themselves via this tunnel all the way over to the funcation enclosure. So he really lucked out. So here's Zucari. Hi, handsome. Oh my goodness. A little birdie told me that Zucari is looking for some more sponsors. He's on the lesser sponsor list right now as of the end of January 2021. And you guys can sponsor him at bigcatrescue.biz. We really appreciate that. If you've sponsored him in the past, make sure you go renew it and sponsor him again. You do it exactly the same way you did it the first time. It is definitely bath time. You can see how well he blends in. If you want to learn about Zucari, you can do that on our website, bigcatrescue.org/Zucari, Z-U-C-A-R-I. And he is an African serval. So I could sit here and watch him groom all day, as I'm sure you could, but let's finish this tour. So he's got another den here amongst all his palmettos and trees. You can see that guillotine door in the background that leads you to that section we just walked around. Closer look at the second feeding lockout that he has. So again, there's a plate, there's a bowl, there's a ceramic tile, there's chicken wire, and there's a door that can open and close. He actually has some stepping stones as well. This area gets quite muddy when it rains, and Lord does it rain here in Florida. He's got yet another safety entrance. So again, if we needed to go in the enclosure, say to repair those platforms, we would shift Zucari over here, or all the way in one of those back two bubbles that we walked around a few minutes ago. And then we could close the guillotine door, put in a safety pole, and then we could enter to repair and fix anything that we might need to. So there's a hose that does these lockouts in this section, and then it stretches long enough to do his other lockout over there. And we are right back where we started. So thank you guys so much for watching these. If you're interested in watching the whole series, find that at dailybigcat.com. And if you want to learn more about our enclosures, just go to bigcatrescue.org/cages. And thank you guys so much for all your support.